Hi, just a short little video segment on one of my pet subjects, which is vibrato. Vibrato is the way of making a note sing. To my mind, it's one of the most expressive techniques you can do, and one of the most overlooked techniques. There are settings for it on Power Tab, there are settings for it on Guitar Pro 5 and so forth, but they don't really get the essence of vibrato. Literally, they just shake a note, make a note wobble, and draw funny little zigzag lines in the tablature. It can be almost like the fingerprint for a guitar player, vibrato. It becomes the essence of your playing. It becomes what makes you sound like you. Now, for me personally, I have a variety of ways of doing it, so I really can only speak from my own personal point of view. So this is what I tend to do. I tend to adopt more of a kind of a B.B. King approach. This is purely because when I started playing guitar, all I wanted to do really was be Gary Moore, and as a result, I've got a very similar kind of vibrato because I studied videos of him playing guitar and decided that that's how I was going to adopt the way that I use my hands. Other players use other kind of vibratos, and I'll touch briefly on those. So what I tend to do is I tend to take a note. For instance, we'll take the E here, which happens to be on the 9th fret on the G string. And with this particular note, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it back and forth. If you can think of this as being almost like, for those of you that are sort of scientifically minded, similar to a sine wave. I have an upper and a lower pitch. The lowest pitch is a note at rest, and the upper pitch is where I'm bending to. What I need to do is I need to get up and down in a smooth, even way to that pitch. I need to return to the exact pitch, or as close to as possible, in an even and smooth manner. So what I tend to get is this. It's a kind of idea. You don't want to be not hitting the pitch or overshooting the pitch, because you'll get a very unpleasant sound. It will kind of what I was doing there was making the timing uneven as well as the actual pitch uneven, and as you can see, it sounds fairly horrible. It certainly would sound horrible in a tune. So what I'm trying to get across here is you need to do it. Now, the speed and width that you apply to that will make the note sing and behave in a different way, depending on which one you adopt. If I take quite a small distance and quite a slow thing, we get quite a melancholy, sad kind of sound from the notes themselves. So you can get a kind of a put into a kind of a lick scenario. But that kind of thing. But the notes kind of, they're slow, but they sing, and also by adding the vibrato, I get a bit more sustain to the notes, and that's quite a useful thing to have. If I make the vibrato more intense, if I widen the pitch and make the frequency of the note more rapid, we will get a much more aggressive kind of sound, real grab you by the wires. So what I'm going for here is it's a similar kind of idea, but just far more aggressive. The tone of my guitar and so forth hasn't changed, but the way that I'm playing those notes is a lot more aggressive than it currently was previously. So I can actually go between the two and try and give you like a light and shade kind of thing. You can see how you can put this into your guitar playing and make your playing far more expressive than whizzing up and down scales, hoping that will give you some kind of dynamicism to it. So if I start with a kind of a slow build and backwards and forwards, you can see how a simple set of notes could be twisted and put in different directions. Other types of vibrato, just to briefly touch on those. There's a violin type of vibrato, which is where you take a note and you rock it, you rack it within the actual fret itself. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually going to go, try and get the angles right on this. I'm going to go side to side in the actual fret, so you get kind of a very subtle. That's one kind. Another kind of vibrato I've seen, which is similar to what I do, but it's just a different hand element, is the Clapton thing, where it actually takes the hand off the neck and you'll go. Whereas when I'm doing it, what I do is I'm actually rotating my forearm. It's kind of a that action. So when the thumb's there, I'm rotating my forearm. The other one that I've seen done, and I'm not particularly good at it, is the Steve Vai one, where he actually takes elements of this and elements of that and kind of does a circular motion. Which works for him. Personally, I find it. It's okay, but so that's just touching very briefly, and I'll do some more in-depth stuff as time goes by.